Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Programming with a Purpose. This is the part 5 in learning iOS development using SwiftUI with the Duolingo app. So the screen I have just shown you is going to be created in this part 5, and also a reward screen will be added. So let's add the relevant variables inside our lesson view. The properties, one of it is basically count matching options, which is going to tell that how many options we have clicked up till now inside our matching screen. Then there is another variable which is correct results, and then another array with the name of is correct results Arabic. Both of these arrays will correspond to the true values, which means that the values are matched successfully across these arrays. You can also keep a dictionary for that also. After that, we need to basically have another variable. This is not related to our matching pair screen, but with the reward screen. So this is basically, this variable is count correct in a row, which means that how many screens or lessons we have completed without making a mistake in a row. So if we have given answers of first 3 questions and then we are going to give wrong answer for the fourth one, then the count correct in a row will become 0 once we give the wrong answer. Previously it would be 3. So this variable and the next variable that I'm going to introduce here are going to be related with the reward screen, which will be shown when our answers multiple is equal to 5, which means that at 5, 10, 15 this screen is going to be shown. So first it is set to false, reward screen. Next I'm going to make changes to the previous code to add this matching pair screen. So here I'm adding a VStack. So here I'm going to add a text on the top of the screen. So this is the text that is going to be displayed on the top of the progress bar, and it is going to show us that how many answers we have got correct in a row. So this is the view that I've shown you on the left hand side, 2 in a row. That is the kind of text we need to add on the top of this progress bar. So follow all of these steps. So if we are nearing the reward screen, which means that our correct count is equal to 5, we are going to change the color of this text and make it set to yellow, otherwise it is going to be green. So I'm adding the check here, and we need to add another check that the value is greater than 4, otherwise 0 mod 5 will always be returned as 5. So for the values less than 5, we need to add this check, correct count in a row is greater than 4. So let's move to the top of this lesson view, and we are going to add here another selection handler. So basically one selection handler is for our left side of the row, which means that the Arabic values, and another one is for the right hand side for the English values. So these two selection handlers will help us to basically check that if the values are selected on the left hand side or on the right hand side. The code of the selection handler is added in the previous part. You can go and check out there. So next we are going to edit the file of option cards. We need to add here some more values to basically display options in the matching pair screen. So first is an is correct array of bool, which is going to tell us that how we need to set the color of the each element here in options card. And after that there is an is Arabic variable, which is going to be set to true when the value is Arabic, otherwise it is set to be false. And then there is a count matching options. This is just same as the variable that we have added in the lesson view. Both of these binding variables will be passed from our lesson view inside this options card and will be returned a value there. And here inside the button click, I'm checking that if the selection of an index is done, it means that we need to count the matching options. Otherwise, if it is deselected, we need to subtract this counting option. So here I am basically changing the UI for our specific case of matching pairs. I have copied the word with sound rounded rectangle code here, and I'm going to edit it since the length of the frame is lesser as compared to word with sound in the case of matching pairs. And also the stroke color is going to be different. So first of all, we need to set the color according to the selection, that if it's selected or not. And once it's selected, we are going to see that if it's correct or not. If it's correct, we are going to set a green boundary over the top. Otherwise, we are going to set the value as red. We have adjusted the frame width here. And next we are going to embed it inside a Z-stack so that we'll be able to draw a certain gems asset on the top of the screen if the value is correct, if the selected value is a correct matched pair. So these are the two assets that I have added for this part. So here I'm adjusting the properties and parameters that I passed this to this options card view that I've added previously inside the options card struct. So here I am going to add here the check that if they are matching pairs, how we are going to create two options card in parallel on the screen. So on the left hand side, we are going to pass the Arabic options. On the right hand side, we are going to pass the normal options, and then count matching options binding variable will be passed here. Same is with the is correct result, which is either from the is correct result array or from the other array which is used for the Arabic basically results. So next I'm going to write the function that will be passed as a parameter to our options card, which is a callback. So the function is written here. We are going to, this is the signature of the function, index int, and a bool variable is going to be passed, and it is going to return bool, which means that the two values that is passed here is going to be, they are basically selected or not, and they are correct or not. So first we are going to get the options. Let's write the function, and then I'm going to explain that what is basically the logic that is used to write this function. So the variable correct options will correspond to the values that we have stored inside our struct data in the form of a static data, which is going to basically contain a value from the English options and Arabic options in the form of a 2D array. So I'm going to access those values inside this variable, and we are going to use it to check that if the values we have clicked across both of these arrays are the correct matching indices or not. So the basic logic that is used here is that we are going to check the variable is Arabic, which means that the Arabic side is clicked. And if that is clicked, we are going to get the other value, which is basically the English option. And we are going to iterate over the array on basically the first column, which means that the Arabic options. And if it that are equal to the index, then we are going to check the other value and see if that is selected. It means that the right hand side and the left hand side that are selected are basically the correct values, and we are going to set those values as true, the column and the index. And next, that same basically mechanism will be applied to our English options. So after that, I'm going to add here the callback to that function. So this is how it is going to be added. So I'm going to pass here the index, which is basically the I inside this for each loop, and then a true is passed because our left hand side or the first option card corresponds to the Arabic options. And in the basically the lower options card, we are going to pass check correct options matching I with false. So let's add the relevant parameters here. We are going to add another selection handler. This needs to be basically selection handler English in that case. It shouldn't be with the name of Arabic because it is going to be a bit confusing. So is correct word is added here with the other array results Arabic because it is going to basically check the results for the other array, other side of basically the matching indices. This Arabic is going to be set here false because this is the array that corresponds to the English options. And then rest of the parameters are pretty much the same apart from the variables that are being passed to our check correct answers matching callback. Next, we need to edit the options card call basically to the other type of lessons data, but these callbacks will not be used in that case. So we need to we can pass any value here. So this is basically how we are going to use the options card and the updated basically signature. Next, we need to change a bit of the logic on the clicking of the button continue inside our lesson view. So if the issue is basically checking off the type which is not matching basically indices or the matching pairs, how we are going to handle the clicking of this button. Let's add the logic here. So this logic is simple. If all of the selected values is equal to the all of the correct values, it means that we have basically done our part and the result is going to be true. Is correct is going to be true and the result answer is going to be whatever we want to type. Otherwise it is going to be false if any of the values inside is correct results is going to be false. Why we are going to check only one array is correct results and not is correct results Arabic is basically both of these corresponds to the true values. At the same time we are going to set the true in both of these arrays in pairs. So if one of the array is going to contain all of the true values, it means that the rest of the values inside the other array are also going to be true with different indices obviously. So whenever we are going to encounter basically a wrong result, we are going to set count correct in a row to 0. Otherwise, we are going to increment it. This is just for the handling of the reward screen. So we are going to add this logic inside all of the if else's inside this button click. And next, I am going to set basically is reward screen active is equals to true according to this basically statement that I'm going to add here, that if the value is greater than 5 and is going to be a multiple of 5, we are going to set it as true and we are going to display it when we are going to add the screen reward view. So update selection handler is also going to be edited for our another selection handler Arabic object, and count matching options will be set to 0 because if we encounter multiple lessons of counting options, we need to have basically this variable as a reset value. And next with the matching pairs, we are going to add some more logic. So here for matching pairs, I'm going to basically reset these two arrays is correct results and is correct results Arabic to false because they need to set to be false before the start of any matching pairs lesson. So fixing the error here, we need to return a false here. So next, when I'm going to basically building the code and playing it, we are going to encounter the error that all of the values are initially set as correct. With gems, we need to edit that thing. So here I will be adding the gems image only in the case of is correct for that option card. So we need to go through each of the option card while creating it, and we are going to set that if the it is correct, then we are going to display those gems. So the other problem is that the values are not setting as green when they are correct. So let's see that what is the issue. First, we are going to remove private from all the values that are being passed to our options card and being manipulated there, because it is wrong to set them as private inside lessons view. So here I'm going to add this check that if the value that is clicked is more than 1, we are going to call this callback, and it is going to check that if the clicked values are correct or not. So now we are moving to that magic pair screen and the values are working correctly. Only there is a small issue that some of the values are not being matched properly. This is due to the wrong indices that we have added inside the data. So we are going to edit the values here inside the data. So next we are going to play the code, and as you are going to see that all of the lessons inside the matching pairs are matched properly, and the 3 in a row and a 4 in a row, the count on the top of the progress bar is also working perfectly. Only the problem is that the progress bar color is not being changed along with the text. We need to add that logic inside the code as well. So next we are going to add here the rewards view, and we are going to create it and add some animation to it so that we'll be able to display it when count in a row will turn 5. So let's add the relevant UI elements here. So here we are going to add the parameter that is going to control that do we need to display the UI elements on the screen or not. So whenever we are going to display the screen, we are going to set it to true at that moment so that the elements are basically animated in front of our eyes. So here there is going to be a V stack, there is a cartoonish image on the top, there is going to be a speech bubble, and at the bottom there is going to be a continue button. So add all of the relevant code by copying this code from the screen, and let's see how it's going to look like. So here I'm adding basically the text on the top of this speech bubble, and all of the properties of the speech bubble are set previously. A frame is set and a foreground color is set. Padding is also added. So this is how the speech bubble is going to look like. After that, we are going to check basically the image. We need to add it inside the V stack. This is the image that we are going to add. I've already shown you that we have added it inside the assets. So we are going to add a transition from the bottom of the screen for this V stack. And next we are going to add a spacer on the bottom of it so that there will be a little space between this speech bubble image and then the button we are going to add at the bottom of the screen. And whenever the space is going to be appear, we are going to set basically is visible.toggle, which is going to start displaying and animating this Z stack and V stack. Next, we are going to copy the button. Here, the button is going to be a continue button. I've copied the code, and we are going to display, basically discard the top view, and we are going to click this continue button, and we are going to move back to our lesson screens. So this is the logic of this button. Let's add it here. Now on the top of the check and continue button inside the lesson, we are going to add a navigation link, which is going to basically move to the rewards view whenever the is active condition is going to be true, which means that the is reward screen active is true. We are going to move to that screen. So next we are going to change the color of the progress bar in addition to the text on the top of this lesson view. Now we are going to play the code. All of the things are properly in place, and I'm going to set the values as correctly so that we are going to be able to display this reward screen. I'm also added some other lessons so that we'll be able to see this count in a row, correct, variable and function. So this is how it's going to be displayed. And when we are going to press continue, we are going to move back to our lesson screens, and then we are going to continue moving. And when we are at the sixth in a row, our color of the text and progress bar is going to be reset to green. So this is all for this tutorial. I hope you have learned from it. Next time I'm going to add some more details and more screens to this Duolingo app. Do let me know in the comment section if you are liking this series, and if there are any queries. Also subscribe to my channel and do not forget to like this video. Thanks for watching.